Hey traders, I hope you enjoyed the long weekend and were able to recharge a bit before the weeks ahead. I think this will be an interesting one. So let's see what the market is telling us right now and what could be the potential opportunities going into this week. So I really like this market, but more specifically the Nasdaq and more of the tech and mega cap area right now. I think it's setting up very well going into this week. So let's check it out. So we remember that we've had that two leg down correction that ended up with some type of climax with a huge VIX spike. Since then, we've had that V-shaped recovery. And what we really wanted to see was after hitting some short-term overbought conditions, we really wanted to see bread coming off, the excess being digested, and that's pretty much what we saw in the last 1 or 2 weeks. So um, from August 21st, we saw that tight sideway ish pullback action as we retested the moving averages, the 50 DMA, the now upward 10 and 21. And this was really the spot to hold. And after NVIDIA's earnings, we tried to break out. We faded back, but Friday was really constructive because we didn't follow through on that fade, on that rejection and false breakout. And instead, we closed very strong near the highs of Thursday's high. So I really like that setup. We kind of broke out of that downtrend line structure as well. Um, so we had that V-shaped recovery, our digestion, constructive price action above moving averages, and as we'll see a bit later in this video, there's a ton of setups. So that's really looking bullish, in my opinion, going into this week. We never know what could happen, but that's really normally the kind of setup that I want to play. So yeah, like I said, we digested the recent excess. So after seeing that huge spike in the McClellan oscillator, we came almost negative, and since then we're trying to hook back up. We're on the summation. We're already to a new high, so participation is coming back into the market, into the Nasdaq. And we're back into a breadth expanding regime. So it's very good to see. Momentum still pretty contained, both sides. So that's what we want to see on a digestion. And what is interesting is breadth really coming off the overbought area. We came back to the 50-60% of breadth extension, both short term to long term, and we're starting to hook back up, and short term approaching the 75% once again. So really interesting setup going into this week. We now have some space to the upside if we want to follow through on that breakout attempt, and get that continuation breakout to the upside. What is also interesting and what lead me to believe that there's more upside to this market is the fact that after that digestion, the momentum is pretty oversold. So the 5-day ratio, the last 5 days of momentum is below one. So we hit 0.41, so pretty oversold on Wednesday, and that's where the Nasdaq really saw the short-term bottom, and since then we're trying to recover, but we're still below one. So a lot of space to rally once again, and even the 10-day ratio is now below one. So we clearly digested that oversold reading that we saw on last Friday. not Friday of last week, but the one before that, and now we're already oversold. So once again, Brett is showing that we have upside room, and momentum as well is showing the same thing. So pretty constructive in my opinion. All right, so that's it for the market picture. I want to go into specific sectors and themes, and then we'll dive into specific setups. So we still have the same leading sectors, so aerospace, banks, pharmaceutical. So we can dive into the mini charts just to have a look. Aerospace defense trying to make a new high, pretty extended. Banks are trying to break out from the July structure, so near new high, so pretty bullish right here. Pharmaceutical made a new high on Friday. Restaurant, pretty interesting because we broke from that big base, as we remember. And just right now, we have kind of the first real pullback to the 10 moving average. So if we look at what's setting up, so we still have the same leading charts. So Kava is still leading, just like the group, pulling back to the 10 moving average, getting tight with an inside day on Friday. So pretty interesting setup. I really like EAT. So for me, this is the second leading stock in this area of the market in this group. Uh, we made consistent ILO structure, and right now we're just going sideways compared to the group, and with the leader pulling back to the 10 moving average, we remained above the 10 moving average and going sideways for a few days now. So I really like this EAT setup into this next week. We have SG, CMG, so Chipotle, still setting up at the 50 DMA, so could be very interesting as kind of a laggard opportunity, but the chart looks strong. And bros still below all moving averages, so no go for me. But probably the biggest opportunity for me would be EAT. That's the one that I want to focus on. So let's go back to the different sectors. We have smart grid. So really setting up after that V-shaped recovery, sideways action above the 10 moving average. We have those VST, NRG, CEG, all those electric utilities, GEV, all setting up into this week for a potential continuation breakout. Cybersecurity really, really looking good with that V-shaped recovery, sideways action to the 10 moving average. We can dig into the group. So we have FTNT, so Fortinet, quite extended but still leading. Palo Alto was in my focus list this week. Came off from the 10 moving average and even 21 moving average area, setting up with an inside day on Friday. So really bullish setup going into next week. AVGO, Broadcom, setting up, but earnings are pretty early this week, so probably a no-go for me. We have CrowdStrike after earnings, Zscaler really setting up quite well. V-shaped recovery, sideways action above the 10 moving average, so definitely a name to look. Net is setting up once again, clear downtrend structure as we retested and even shake out below the moving averages. So nice setup here on Cloudflare as well. So that's the setup that I'm seeing in the cybersecurity group. Uh, what else setting up? So cloud computing setting up, V-shaped recovery, 21 DMA pullback. We're setting up on the right side with tight action on Friday. IPOs really looking very bullish into this week. V-shaped recovery, 10 moving average pullback, really tight action, two inside days. So really like the IPOs going into this week. Software really strong as well. V-shaped recovery, sideways action into the 10 moving average. Biotech is really looking strong. We have that July structure we've been building for 2 weeks now, sideways action above the 10 moving average with a higher low structure on Friday. Really nice setup going into this week. And you want to see biotech. Biotech are really a big sector, big group, a clear risk on indicator. So if you see biotech running, that's really, really nice to see for the market. So let's continue. And you see the pattern. We have that V-shaped recovery, that right side handle into the 10 moving average, that 21 moving average, pretty much all around in all groups. And when you see this kind of action, this really gets me excited because you have confirmation of the broad market that could run and that could really set up a really, really strong rally in the market. So same thing into leisure and entertainment, really strong pullback into the 10 moving average. Regional banks setting up on the right side, really tight action above the 10 moving average. Same thing for the home builders. That's something that I'm really looking for this week. And you get the same type of action in all the leading stocks of the group. So you have that initial sharp decline, V-shaped recovery, tight handle at the 10 moving average, and you see all those names in the group: DHI, Toll, LAN, PHM. So all having that same setups, and we can continue. KBH, BLDR, they all have the same look. So really a group, a sector, the home builders to watch closely this week. Um, so I think you see the team pretty much all setting up in the same way. Um, I see we're already 12 minutes in, so I want to go into the PTMM screener page. That's really something that we're working on very hard. We have big release coming up this week that you'll be able to build your own scans, have them locally saved. And I don't want to tell too much because this is a big one and we don't want to reveal too much. But so far, this is the scans that are I have set as presets. So PT Universe, so all the stocks that are meeting my minimal liquidity, minimum price, minimum volume, daily volume, etc., etc. So that creates my universe right now. It's 254 stocks. So that's really the liquid leaders that you want to focus. And you have it built in into the screener tool. Uh, the one scan that really is my go-to for my ideas generation is my 21 DMA pullback scan. So basically, I want to see, let's look at the filters. I want to see tight action around the 21 moving average. So this is in ADR's terms. So minus one ADR to plus one RDR above the 21 moving average. And I also have the same filter for the 50 DMA, so I don't want to be extended from the 50. Uh, I want to see those tight areas as well. I want to see good performance in the last 6 months. I want to see good relative strength. and I don't want to see stocks with earnings in the next 14 days. So that's something that you can scan for, or add to your scans to remove the stocks that are close to earnings. So let's look at the charts. So I like to see those leading stocks setting up near the 21 and the 50 moving average. So right now you have Carvana setting up, Aspen um, really setting up nicely. So we retested that July's high structure with a pretty strong V-shaped recovery. We tried to bounce from the 10 moving average, but clearly the stock was not ready. We're coming up into the 21 moving average, right into the mid-July structure. So we're retesting support structure. And Friday was a pretty strong, low volume inside day. So I like to see this action for a potential pullback opportunity and a reversal from that area. Spotify, probably one of the best setup in the market right now. Uh, Clear VCP action following earnings were contracting both in price and volume. So look at the downtrend in the 20 day volume average. So really like this setup, and it's really looking similar to what we saw in Carvana in July before the breakout in August. So we had that VCP type of action on the right side, tight inside, before that breakout to new high early in mid-August. Same thing, Palantir, one of the strongest stock in the market following last earnings. V-shaped recovery to new highs. We pull back to the 21 moving average, bounce on Thursday, and strong inside day as we close near the highs. So really strong action in Palantir. That's definitely one of my focus list stock going into this week. Meta platform, so Facebook really setting up nicely as well. So we're building still in that base that we're since April. Uh, we never really broke above that structure. We had that breakdown, and since then we keep being rejected into that April structure. But we made higher low, so that was important to me. So we made a low back at the end of April. We broke down after being rejected at the top of the base, made a higher low, broke down on earnings, higher low once again. We retested once again the same structure, and this time we're really getting tight on the right side, right at the 21 DMA. We don't see it on this chart, but we're also sitting right at the earnings low AWAP, and pinching to the high AWAP as well. So we're right into this buyer and sellers equilibrium, getting tight. So I really like that setup for a potential continuation breakout. And buckle up, because that could be quite the breakout, since this is quite a big base. So we know what we say. The bigger the base, the higher in space. So I'm really looking to this Meta platform setup. I took an initial position on Friday, but really looking to add to my position if we do break out from that tight setup. What else? We have SG, we have Run. So Solars are also setting up. We have Run that have a tight pullback to the 10 moving average, retesting that pre-R structure high as well. So Solar are um, to be watched this week. You have, let's look. I have Enphase in this sector as being my preferred opportunity. So we're testing that base structure for the second time. So we tried to break out at the end of August. We had that failed breakout. We came back to retest the structure, made a low high, retesting that structure with a higher low once again at the 10 moving average. So getting tight on the right side, I really like, and face that good setup to maybe retake the lead. And yeah, that will be in my focus list this week for sure. What else? Oh yeah, I really like that Coupang. Um, so a bit like Meta, which is consolidating in that base since April. Coupang is CPNG is doing the same thing. We said that multiple rejection were not able to push higher. We had that pretty long correction that ended up on earnings with that shakeout near the lows. Since that, we had that V-shaped recovery to retest that April base structure. And since then, we are pulling back to the 21 moving average. We're retesting the low AWAP as well. Two inside days, getting really tight right into the mid-August structure as well. So in the bottom of the range. So I really like that setup for a low entry, tight risk. So it's easy to manage our risk, get bigger size on your position. And if it doesn't work, you know right away. So yeah, other than that, I think that if we look at another scan, leaders tight, this is quite the same opportunities. App is still leading. Titan side on Friday looking good. Texas Instrument leading in the semiconductors. We have EAT. We talked about this opportunity. This will be in my focus list with that tight action above all moving averages. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, just to maybe recap quickly before I end this video. So market wise, we saw that two leg down correction in the Nasdaq, V-shaped recovery were quite extended and overbought. And in the last 2 weeks, we saw that digestion, that consolidation that is leading to a potential continuation breakout this week. All the groups and the industries are showing kind of the similar, very bullish setup with that V-shaped recovery, pull back into the 10 or 21 moving average with tight action last week to end the month. And we have a lot of setups and tight chart all around with tight action on the right side of the base, good VCP action. So I know I'm pretty excited for this market right now. If it doesn't pan out and we just crap into this week, that will be quite the bull trap, and of course I will be disappointed, but that's what it is. We'll follow price action first. The market will decide what it will give us, but I'm pretty bullish with what I see right now in my weekend routine. So I hope, guys, you enjoyed this video. It was a bit longer. We're almost 25 minutes in, but I wanted to keep a more top-down approach video for the weekend. And over the week, we'll do smaller editions with maybe 5 to 10 minutes to really just recap where the market is going from here. Quick opportunity, but keeping those video a bit shorter. So I hope you enjoyed this longer edition. Enjoy your week and trade them well. So bye bye, guys. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of your long weekend. Bye bye.